Good morning! Selamat pagi! Good morning everyone, Kenneth here, and yes, today I'm gonna be talking about WWDC 2019. That was such a presentation. I've never had this much excitement, new features since forever. The only time a WWDC can rival this kind of excitement was that iOS 7 introduction, but that's more like to design overhaul compared to feature overhaul. So I think this is the biggest update ever. It's crazy when I think about how long have I been using Apple devices. Fun fact, my first Apple device was an iPhone 4, and before that I always thought Apple was like an expensive for nothing, and I wanted to buy a Galaxy S1 that time, but that got discontinued because they're preparing for S2, so I got the iPhone 4 instead, and man, that changed my life. Okay, so today I'm not gonna be talking about all the great features that will come on iOS 13, but I want to talk about this one feature. I think a really powerful tool that you can find only in the iPhone. I've shared it with many of my friends and all of them love it, but this hardware feature might come to an end, and you guessed it, it's 3D Touch. So a little history here. 3D Touch appeared first in the iPhone 6s I have here. It was introduced in 2015, and that was something else that time. There was nothing like it. Other manufacturers, they tried to copy the pressure sensitivity, but they never succeeded because there are no apps that get optimized with it. They just don't work. But somehow Apple made it work. Let me explain some of the things that you can do with 3D Touch. First, there is what called peek and pop. So you've been in this chat app and you've got many different people to talk with, and they are all messaging you, and you just want to take a look quickly what this people is talking about, what she's replying. If that's not important, you can just ignore it and move to another people without reading it. So your notification is still there. You will know that you haven't replied him and you can get back to it. Girls love this, by the way. They can read the message without sending a read notification. And yeah, while you are peeking like that, you can swipe up and you've got these useful stuff like sticky on top, so you can put those messages and just like put it on top. You pin it there. That's the word. And yeah, that's basically peek and pop is so you can get a preview of the links that you're going to without changing pages. So the great thing about this is, whenever you see something, for example, a link in Notes, a link in Safari, a link in, let's say, WhatsApp or whatnot, you can just press on it to peek inside what is it. It works, and that is the point. It's got implemented everywhere, and no other manufacturers has been able to implement this as good as Apple. And yeah, moving on to the next great feature of 3D Touch is the quick actions. So you press on every app on your home screen and see what the app can offer to you. Personally, I've never used the quick actions of the camera, scan QR codes or whatever, like they're not really that useful, but it gets really useful on WeChat and Alipay. So here in China, we use these two applications really often, and we don't use this for just messaging. We also use this to order foods. We look at the menus on WeChat by scanning a QR code on the table, and also we pay for stuff with WeChat and Alipay in China. With 3D Touch, you just simply press on the WeChat icon, and payment options, the scan QR codes, they are all right there. That is really powerful, I think. And there's also one thing that is useful, 3D touching on settings, to go into Wi-Fi and Bluetooth settings. But with the iOS 13 update, you can just long press on the Wi-Fi icon or the Bluetooth icon on the control center, and they will give you the list of networks or Bluetooth devices that you can connect with. So I think it makes it irrelevant. But if you're not running iOS 13, I think this will be a great feature for you to use. And yeah, that doesn't stop there. This goodness also comes to the on-screen keyboard. You can just hard press anywhere on the on-screen keyboard and it will go into text selection mode, so you can move that cursor, correct that typo really quickly. But that goes even further. You can hard press one more time to select the entire word, then you can drag it to select an entire paragraph so that you can cut, copy, paste them. Oh yes, when implemented in games properly, it is very powerful controller device for your game. One of the best examples for this is PUBG Mobile. You can walk with your left thumb and then you can aim with your right thumb, and if you want to shoot, you just press harder on it. That's really nice. You don't have to lift a finger for that. It's built into your phone as back as the iPhone 6s. This is such a great feature. I love 3D Touch so much. But the reason I made this video is because when I take a look at the Apple's website describing all the new features for the iOS 13, I got into this system experience section where I can see that there's peek there and quick actions. Thing is, they don't use 3D Touch anymore, but they require you to long press on the icons. So long pressing on the home screen icons will give you the same effect as a 3D Touch, and if you're long pressing on a link or a chat, you can peek that out so it gives the same effect. I can see this like being a positive thing to the iPads first and foremost, because I would really love Force Touch to be there, but it's never been implemented there. Probably the screen was too big. And the smaller iPhones like the iPhone SE, the new iPod Touch, even if you buy it really, I mean, I'm all for this feature to get more exposure and so people will know about them. But with that comes the problem of 3D Touch at risk of being removed in the next iPhones, because all these things can be done without pressure sensitive display anymore. So do we even still need pressure sensitive display? Actually, the answer depends. If you are used to using 3D Touch every day, you know that 3D Touch is faster than just tap and hold there. We can see the iPhone XS versus the iPhone XR when you're turning on the flashlight, for example, and the lock screen. They're just faster if you do it on a pressure sensitive display. So I can see that being a problem. First one is speed, and the second one will be the text selection mode. So now if you don't have pressure sensitive display, we can hold our finger on the spacebar and we can move that cursor around, but there's no way to select words or even paragraphs. I don't know if those iPad gestures will be here on the iPhone, in which you use your one finger and drag over the text to select it. If it's not there, then we lose a feature here that we're used to be able to do so. And also, I'm really gonna miss playing PUBG without the pressure sensitive display. I think it is awesome to play it like that. I don't have a controller. I just fire that app up and I play it really well, and I love it so much. But with the PS4 and the Xbox One S controllers can now be paired to iOS devices, I don't know. The whole update feels so crazy to me. I just can't keep up with all the updates that's coming at me. It's so great. But today I'm just gonna be talking about 3D Touch. I will be sad to see 3D Touch go. If you are used to XR, or if you have never used 3D Touch at all, I would suggest you to try. It will help you in some ways or another. But you know, I still hope that there is a very small chance that Apple will keep the pressure sensitive display so that all the people that are used to 3D Touch, they can still do so, all the quick actions, all the peek and pops, and especially on the 6S, the multitasking gesture when you have to press on the left side of the screen to go into multitasking. I use that all the time and I can't imagine living a life. They removed it once in iOS 11, I think. Me and my friends, we were frustrated because the feature was removed, but fortunately it was brought back at a later update of iOS 11. All in all, I would love for these peek quick actions all to go to all the devices so that people will know more about it. But yeah, I just hope the way we do things since forever, especially me actually, will not be downgraded because of this upgrade. I said to myself I wouldn't buy another iPhone if they don't have 3D Touch. I would just stick with the iPhone XS instead. But now that they implemented most of the features with just long press, I think that will be fine. I'll just have to get used to it. But still, I'm gonna be really sad when they remove the 3D Touch. Okay, so that's been it. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is actually my love letter to 3D Touch, sort of. Please do let me know down in the comments below if you use 3D Touch, if you love it. What do you use it for? How do you discover it? Are you sad to see it go? If you don't use it, I would highly recommend you to try it. I think that will be very useful to you. Okay, so please do give it a thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you don't like it. Subscribe for more content like this. I probably will make more about this upgrades, the iPad OS, the iOS 13. So thank you very much once again. I will see you in the next one.